enjoyed lunch. I know I did. It was very nice. The lasagna kind of gave me a taste of home. Well, my wife's home. My mother-in-law is Italian, and the first thing she cooked for me was lasagna. It's amazing. Um, anyway, so hopefully you won't find this a bitter pill, leave you with a sour puss, give you a taste of home, and it's kind of a taste of things to come. Uh, there are so many idioms out there, what cooks and chefs call a taste profile. I've only just hit a few, and I'll try to keep this short and sweet, and hopefully not use any salty language and whisper sweet nothings. So, the average human mouth has approximately 10,000 taste buds, and they die and they're replaced about every 10 to 14 days. When we're young, we have a boatload of them, and as we grow older, they die. So that's why young children taste things more intensely than adults do. If you've ever seen babies on YouTube sucking on a lemon, it's strangely hysterical, kind of cruel punishment, but these taste buds, they all contain receptor cells, and these cells are stimulated by chemical reaction in the things that we eat, and the makeup of whatever you're eating responds to several primary tastes, and those are, of course, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and if you didn't know, umami. Umami is a Japanese mashup, which basically means savory. So when food activates these gustatory cells, the receptor synapse with the neurons and sends electrical impulses to the gustatory region of the cerebral cortex, and the brain interprets this as taste. So, what tastes good? Well, it's kind of subjective. My neighbor hates olives. I love olives. Olives stuffed with blue cheese in a dirty martini, that tastes good. So that's subjective. What makes a great dish or a recipe then? It's kind of like a really good glass of wine is complex. It hits you with waves of flavors. You taste berries, herbs, smoke. A plate should do the same thing. As you eat it, you should taste different palates with different flavors on your palate. And the recipe can be as complicated as, say, coq au vin, or as simple as chocolate-covered bacon. You've never had chocolate-covered bacon? Okay. I know it's a little bizarre, but this hits almost every note, right? First off, everyone knows everything is better with bacon. And according to my wife, everything's better with chocolate. So you have these two great things together. The bacon is salty and smoky and savory, and the chocolate is a little bitter and sweet. It hits every note. It's almost the perfect thing. So, adding just one taste to something can propel it from just being ordinary to extraordinary. Take simple sugar. If you melt it down and add a little bit of bitter to it, it intensifies the sweetness, and you get caramel. It's kind of like life. When you add just a little bit bitter, you tend to savor the sweet things a little more. All right? After a long winter, I like to sit on my back deck with a cup of coffee, enjoy the sun rising up, feeling it on my face. I think without the bitter long winter, I wouldn't enjoy this small sweet thing as much. Okay, so flavors are important, but so are the other senses. One of the things that I tell my staff at the cafe is you eat with your eyes first. If you've ever been to a restaurant and a plate comes out to the table, they put it down, and someone at the table inevitably says, "Oh, that looks good." The way something looks can go a long way to how it tastes. Now, I'm not saying that because it looks good, it's going to taste good. That's obviously not true. There's a show on Nat Geo called Brain Games. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but there was one episode they did, which was basically revolved around food. And one of the things they did, they cooked this huge sheet of brownies. And some of them they cut up to look like homemade. Some of them they used cookie cutters, cut out hearts and diamonds and things. And the other ones they rolled up to look like what my dog did this morning when I took him on a walk. They gave these things away in a public place. They said, hey, have a brownie. People were like looking and going, ooh, But everyone who sampled the different things all thought that the ones that looked professionally made tasted better. They all came from the same sheet, out of the same oven. It was a little interesting. On this same episode, they took 4 chefs and they covered their eyes, blindfolded them, and gave them 4 different things to taste. Each chef was able to identify, just being blindfolded, what each of those things were. Each chef went 4 for 4. They're professional tasters, basically, so that's not surprising. They then stuffed up their noses, took away their sense of smell, and kept them blindfolded, gave them 4 more things to eat. Out of those 16 tastes, only one thing was guessed correctly, and the chef said it wasn't because he could taste it. It was just because of the texture, and it was a lucky guess. So that our sight and our smell are directly related also to taste. I'm going to digress here, tell you a little bit. My cafe's in Occoquan. It was about 30 miles south of here in Prince William County. And there's this guy, Bob, who came into the cafe 3-4 times a week for 3-4 months. And when we saw him coming, we were happy to see him. Bob worked for the CIA for most of his life, but he wasn't very secretive. He was very boisterous. Other than what he did for the CIA, we still have no idea. But he was jovial, he was fun and funny, and everyone looked forward to seeing him. Across the street from my cafe, there's a lady, her name is Carol, she lives there, and she comes into the cafe probably 3 times a week, or 3 times a month, and the staff always cringes when they see her coming, mainly because she wears a scowl. And they seat her and they smile and take care of her, but they all complain when they see her come, and then they complain after she leaves. But when she's there, everyone's very friendly and polite and nice. And I got the chance to actually take time to go out and talk to her and see how she was. She said, I just love your cafe. Everyone is so polite and friendly. It brightens my day. But I would have had no idea because she never wears a smile on her face. Interesting. 2 completely different people. And Carol's a perfectly good person, but you wouldn't know it because of the scowl that she wears. And it's kind of like that plate that goes down in front of you at dinner. People look at it and go, "Ooh, that looks good." People don't approach her because she doesn't look good, which is kind of sad. By the way, as a side note, Bob actually died after the new year, and we're going to miss him a lot. He really brightened the place up. Anyway, so I mainly serve soup, salads, and sandwiches at my cafe, also desserts. And the interesting thing is that there'll be days where I don't sell a single dessert, or I don't sell a single salad. And it's not because of weather or the amount of business that I have. It's because that one person didn't order it. Once a Cobb salad or a warm Oreo brownie goes out of the kitchen and goes into the dining room, I know in no time flat I'm going to get orders for each of those nonstop for the rest of the day. It's contagious. It's kind of crazy. I keep forgetting to move my slide. That's Bob. He's the salt of the earth. Much like the food going out of the kitchen that's contagious, so is a smile, so is a scowl. So be contagious. There's a new checker at a place I go. The checker is the person who counts the items in your basket and compares it to your slip and makes sure that they're good. Most of these people, they just sit there with their head down, they take the thing and go, and they're mumbling, you have no idea what they're saying. This lady, I had gone up and I gave her my thing, and she looked right at me and said, "How are you today?" Like, "I'm fantastic, how are you?" And I think I caught her off guard because most of us, every time we go, we're focused on our own selves and not others. And we had a little banter back and forth. And right when she handed me back, she said, "Have a blessed day." Wow. Awesome. Contagious. Have a blessed day. It was great. So to me, cooking, even eating, it's not just my job, it's kind of my life. And you need all of the flavors to enjoy life. And a lot of people think they want to live the sweet life. Well, your life is sweet right now. It's a gift that we're given, gift from God, and we need to savor it every day. They're gifts that we see, but there are even more gifts that we don't even see. And just need to be thankful all the time. Sometimes we get frustrated when things don't turn out the way we want them to, frustrating, bitter events. And life is sweet. So you may have noticed at the beginning that I mentioned that the mouth contains taste buds. Well, it used to be when I was taught that taste buds were on your tongue. Turns out they're everywhere. They're in your cheeks, they're on your soft palate, they're on your upper esophagus. And I also learned that the tip of your tongue was sweet, the back of your tongue was sour. It turns out that the taste buds taste everything. And I like to think that we're kind of like taste buds. We're everywhere. We taste everything. And we're bombarded with all of these life events, traffic and family and the boss and weather. People already have this salty, bitter life every day. What they're missing is the sweet. And I know it's kind of preaching to the choir with all of you here, but try to be the sweet. Try to see people and smile. It's not too hard to do. Be the fajita that comes out of the Mexican restaurant that you see and go, "Ooh, I want that." Be like Bob. Be the sweetness. Be like Meg Ryan and When Harry Met Sally, and make people go, "Ooh, I want what she's having." I say that you should go out into the world and love everyone you meet. And take life and taste it more. All right? And finally, have a blessed day.